Everybody's got a price.
Hello and welcome to Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets Week 3. I know I said I wouldn't be back last week.
Welcome back, old boy.
I know, you guys are right.
You're going to be here for the rest of the season. I hate
feeling.
you're saying no, but you just keep coming back for more. You're just a glutton for punishment. You might as well wear Jet stuff next week because I'm already off the bandwagon. I'm done. Big Blue.
I have a winning record, so until then with my picks, I think I have to keep coming back. Nick is actually really sick right now. He's not off the show. He's still one of the hosts, or the host, as they get mad when we say.
He called himself the host 2 weeks ago.
Right. So he is really sick right now. So it'll be us three again. Sorry, it happens. All right, really quick before we get into the recap of week 2, some promotion going on, which we forgot last week, apparently I've been told. So the TruExact show, next week we have our final Nickelodeon month episode coming out with the creator of Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's really cool. I was joined by Eric, Ellie, and Brian, and we talked about all the episodes, how he started writing them. We're probably going to have other Nickelodeon people on, but it'll be more towards December. Right now, Nickelodeon month is done. We have Rab himself coming on from Jackass Viva La Bam. October 6th, we're dropping that. Laser from American Gladiators will drop the following week. We have Bobby J from Rockaway, an artist from New York, will come on at the end of October. We also have our Halloween episode dropping of Dual Demonology, 2 demonologists who worked with the Conjuring House. They came out last year. They'll be doing it again. Other than that, catch Random University, Sharp Bets Fantasy Sets, and Freddie, who's doing Mark Side of Ring alone for now, but he's still doing it, and I respect that. Even though he's by himself, he's still chugging along. That being said, man, this is hard. And I don't even
get a drink.
This advertisement. I know.
Get a drink.
Anybody watching who needs someone to advertise something, let me know. So week 3 is on our way. I'm rocking my Darren Woodson jersey. That's a throwback. Cowboys haven't replaced him since 2003. And their defense has sucked since. So let's start with a week 2 recap. We'll start with our teams and then go through some surprises and whatnot. So week 2, I went last week, and I should start, but I need a fucking break from talking. So we'll send it to the person who had definitely the worst week, and I feel like we say that every week. It'll be Tim with the Jets, who Jets just had an abysmal performance, and the Patriots just won their 7th straight versus them, whatever it is. Tim, talk about your day.
Well, to put it into perspective, I think you kind of knew what to expect, right? Bill Belichick's an excellent coach, got a rookie QB. It's just it wasn't good. It wasn't ever going to be good. It's not a White Claw. It's a noon. It's a high noon, and it's peach, and it's delicious. All right.
Quit getting off topic and talk about your shitty team.
Oh, fuck my shitty team. They're not very good. They're not going to win this week, Scott. So don't even think about it, pal.
I'd save one of my picks for later. We'll see.
Yeah, I would definitely go against them. But what is it, 10.5 or whatever the spread was up to? It's still a lot of points, but man, do they not look good? They can't run the football, and they got a rookie quarterback. That's a recipe for a disaster, especially against a good defense.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of annoying being a fan of a team like a Jets or with a rookie quarterback. I went through it with Dak. Sir, I don't remember last time you had like a bad rookie quarterback, but like when Zach Wilson is as good, if not better, than Mac Jones. But then you see Mac Jones go it reminds me of Roethlisberger's rookie year. Remember, he would go 11 for 13 with 110 yards, and people would be like, he's won 15 in a row. He didn't do anything. So, it's annoying that the Patriots are like, oh, Mac Jones beats the Jets. He didn't. It's a team sport. So, Zach Wilson doesn't have much around him, but, when do you start holding the coach's feet to the fire? I know it's only 2 games, but do you think he's been okay the 2 games, or are there some questions?
I think we're in the exact same scenario we were last year, except the quarterback's name, instead of being Sam Darnold, is Zach Wilson. It's just the team is not ready to win. outside of, one rookie quarterback in the last however many years, they're not going to carry you to the promised land.
Yeah.
You still need a good quarterback, but you need a good team around them. So I don't know. You see how good Sam Darnold is doing this year in Carolina already. So you tell me. I don't know.
I would have personally kept Darnold and drafted a lineman. That's just me, but I understand the money situation. Sir, maybe Nick's not on because
I'm saying, he knew what was coming. He knew what was coming.
I will say my brother's an Eagle fan, so I was very invested in that game, and they're in my division. I always said the Eagles had every chance to win that game, and that fourth down kind of killed them and swung momentum. So, are you happy about the way? You're always happy with a W.
No, absolutely. You're always happy to get a dub, especially on the road. Like, they started off the season, both road games, 2-0. Now they get to go back to the crib. They didn't look the best in the first half. The defense was playing, but the offense just wasn't doing much. So, they woke up in the second half. So, I'm just glad to get out of there with a W and on to the next one.
I have to ask, as a fan, you're 2-0, but it's a very boring 2-0 to an extent. Last week was boring, and you got a kid on the bench who's explosive, and Jimmy G is Jimmy G. When do you pull the trigger? Do you wait till they lose a couple, or are you just,
Look, to that point, I'd rather be a boring 2-0 than an exciting 0-2. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So just especially in that division, like everybody keeps winning in my division, so we gotta keep pace. Up to barring a field goal, everybody could have been 2-0 except for Seattle when they lost by a field goal. So it's a tough division, toughest division of football.
Right, I agree with that. I would think you'd have to be out of a playoff chase to actually put the kid in unless an injury happens. Right?
Yeah, like they say he'll come in for a couple plays, like here and there. Like week 1, he came in for a couple plays here and there. He threw a touchdown, but last week he didn't really see the field. I mean, hey, listen, when Jimmy's on the field, he gets W's.
Right.
Like,
at the end of the day, too, these GMs might know a little more than us. So maybe he's not ready. Right.
Just like with Patrick Mahomes, like the one year, like they drafted him high and he sat behind Alex Smith. Right. And then at the end of the season, they said, "All right, Alex, thank you for your duty. Have a nice day." And Mahomes came in and lit the world on fire. So, I think sometimes it's best for these young quarterbacks to sit, hit that playbook and just absorb all the information they can get. I mean, I know in his 6th case with Zach Wilson, he's thrown to the fire. So he's trying to put up numbers, but Belichick is a mastermind against rookies. So
yeah,
he was due for a bad week, but I think just to have Lance sit back, study the playbook, watch how a professional does it, and then next season, it's go time.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. As far as the Cowboys, they went and won in LA, which, listen, the Cowboys and Chargers, to me, it's like looking in a mirror of identical bad luck teams over the past 15 years. The way the Cowboys have lost and the Chargers have lost some games, you could write a fucking horror story. It's that bad. So it wasn't shocking that these penalties that were happening in that game were the weirdest fucking penalties. Touchdowns called back, snake-bitten plays, but the Cowboys defense stepped up when they had to. It's not about yards, it's about points now. And they held them to 17 points. Dak went on the road, didn't play great, but did enough to win. And horrible clock management at the end. Even Roma was saying, we're behind the 8 ball here. What are we doing? And you're settling for a 56-yarder. And luckily, Zerline put it through. Otherwise, that would have been a real tough off.
For that thing, apparently McCarthy came out and said he couldn't see the play clock. Come on, fam. You in a big stadium, all these play clocks are out, and you tell me, "Oh, I can't see. I didn't know how much time was."
The only one.
They got bailed out,
and it's the new stadium.
If he would have the time run out, and they went to overtime, he might not have a job to come today.
Yeah, no, I agree. It would have been a bad week. But you say you can't see the clock. It's a $500 million stadium.
You know what I'm saying?
It's somewhere. Come on.
Exactly. You run the football. I was you run the football when you're to make it a 56-yarder? That ain't no chip shot, bro.
It was mind-blowing. And, as a Cowboy fan, I remember I'm watching at my parents' house where I go watch Sunday football, and, I'm, yelling, and they're like, who cares as long as he makes it? I go, I don't care. This is so fucking stupid. You're putting – especially from a guy who missed, he had a rough week 1.
Yeah.
But you know what? They got out of there with the W, so go on, Tim.
Cost you week 1. He won you week 2. I mean – You could be 2-0. You could be 0-2.
You're right. And
wait, one more question though, for you. Like, who should be the star running back? Because Pollard has been cooking. Zeke looks washed right now.
I'm okay with. I think I'm okay with the mix. I think the Cowboys are at their best. Like the one a couple years of Marion Barber, Julius Jones. So like I'm okay with the dual running back. It makes fantasy football a lot fucking more frustrating. That's for sure. But with a 17-week season, I mean, I don't blame it. Like it's a speed game now, man. Like I don't care if you have power. Like on defense, you got to draft speed. You got to keep up with these freaking wide receivers and running backs now. Just the athleticism is ridiculous. So I'd rather have a guy like Pollard out there running flank screens and stuff because Zeke's he's got breakaway speed, but he's slow. He's kind of like a first to third runner instead of a base stealer, if that makes sense. Yeah. Which I stick ball.
Well, I must say that in your team though, they might have the two worst contracts in football. Paying Zeke $18 million to split carries and Jalen Smith $16 million to be a backup? Nah, fam.
That's why I would have never gave him number 9. I'm still mad about that.
Mm-hmm. Wonder why.
Horribly mad about that.
Scott, the last thing on week 2. I know it was a Thursday night game, so it was like a very, very long time ago. It's a dog back there. And I thought it was behind me too. I looked. I was like, "What the fuck?" Oh, are the Giants? Did the Giants play well, or is Washington just because their quarterback play is suspect?
I put it this way: the Giants always play Washington well. So like these games that Daniel Jones plays versus Washington don't impress me. He was 4-0 versus them or 5-0. Go win versus someone else for God's sake. Like so. Yeah, he played okay, but like you said, at the end of the day, they lost. So good, fuck them.
That might be the most Giants way to lose, though. Like, bro, like, come on, fam. Like,
they missed the field goal, but then the interior guy goes off sides. Like, not even the guy that could potentially block. It was so bad.
I will say, like, one of the biggest surprises to me. We'll get to that, like, for week 2, and I did pick it. So, like the Raiders going in there and pretty much pounding the Steelers. Like I expect them to cover. I expect them to win. Actually, I said that like 2017, but like even though the score was 9 points, it really wasn't close if you watch that game. And I think that's a big statement win by Las Vegas because I mean Derek Carr. He's kind of in that mid tier, and if he could. Hopefully he doesn't lay an egg this week at home, but he's got the Raiders going in the right direction. And up until his injury in 2014, like that team was 13-3. So it's good to see him back confident again. So I think that was my biggest surprise. My biggest disappointment this week was probably the Cardinals bothered me because I had them picked and like I know they won. It was just a weird game, and them to be at home and not blow the Vikings out really was weird to me, and it made me question how good they really are. So I don't know. That West is tough, and I know they have an athletic quarterback, but I mean you got to take care of business a little bit better. If not for the Vikings having field goal wolves, like, you can't afford to lose those games in the NFC West. Same with the Seahawks. So you got to win every one of these. So those are my surprise disappointments. Tim, if you have any.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm disappointed every week in the Jets, so you could just fucking pencil that in there. I think I was most surprised really by the Giants, and that's the reason I brought it up. I thought they played way better than I thought they would against a pretty solid defense in Washington. I'll give little Giants blue. I got you.
No, I think my biggest surprise this week was a Sunday night game with Baltimore and KC. Like, Casey was giving him the business. Lamar was throwing picks like left and right early on. I'll be told that I pretty much fell asleep when the Chiefs were up, like, going to the fourth quarter. I was like, man, I'm going to bed. Woke up, and I see the Ravens came back and won. I'm like, okay, so I guess, Lamar got the monkey off his back because previously he was 0-3 against KC. So that was a little surprising. I was, the Chiefs usually, when they're up, they usually put teams away, and
right. And that was
they did not do so.
Mahomes' first loss in September, and if it serves me correctly, first interception in September he threw.
It's possible.
I think he had like 88 touchdowns and no interception. It was a crazy number, but It's almost like that loss might just be better for the Chiefs to just get
I mean, it's probably better because I know a lot of people are saying that they could go 20-0. So take an early L, even though that in that division, so you got the Raiders that are looking like world beaters right now, like.
Yeah, the Broncos are 2-0.
Yeah, so I mean, the Broncos look good. That's probably another surprise. Like, I mean, I knew they were a good team, but they look like they're looking good this year.
You'd be surprised what steady quarterback play will give to you.
Absolutely. When you got Teddy Two Gloves, who does it? He doesn't turn the ball over. He just kind of does his thing out there. So. I'll
tell you who you were probably disappointed in, sir, was because you picked them, Jameis Winston.
Come on, fam. How you go cook? You go out there and cook week 1 and then turn back into Jameis Winston week 2.
How about how Packers fans probably felt? Like, are you kidding me? Like, put up 38 points and then you put up 11, like, or 7. I don't even know.
I was disappointed in their performance. Like, come on, bro.
Right.
Like I get on. Like I try to hype y'all up, and then you do that. All right. Can't do it.
Let's get to our parlay picks. First, we'll review a little from last week. So, the standings right now are me, guest, 4-2, Nick 3-3, Sir and Tim still in the cellar at 2-4. Tim, last week you lost to Washington, KC, and got the win with Dallas. So we'll start with you this week because you're in the cellar, and I think your name comes after ABCDFG, Yeah, so last T comes after S. so Tim started off. That's how I use logic. See?
Okay, I'll start it off with my upset pick of the week, and it's the Bears getting 7 against the Brownies. Now listen, Mr. Fields, first game fully starting. They just came off of a win. And I'll tell you what, a team that's playing behind something that they believe in, they knew they weren't going to win with Andy bum-ass Dalton. Now they have a chance. Now they think they have a chance. That offense is going to play well. The defense is going to play well. The Browns have all of their receivers injured, or at least the good ones. They're going to tell me Odell's coming back. Only reason he's coming back, I think, is because Landry got hurt. I don't know if he's 100%. I really don't care. I'll take the 7 points. Pick number 2. It fucked me last week. But anytime the spread is -6 or 6.5 or lower, I'm taking Kansas City. They're facing the Chargers. Chargers could barely put up points against Dallas. Sorry, Scott. I thought Dallas was going to win, but I thought it was going to be a much high-scoring game. I'm not concerned. And last but not least, the team that worries me the most, Scott, you brought them up already. They're playing way over their head, but I don't care. I'm taking the Raiders -4.5 against the Dolphins. No Tua Tebow. It don't fucking matter. Tua Tebow, he's fucking terrible anyway. They're going to win that game. I'm going to take the Raiders -4.5.
I like those picks, Tim. I'm shocked at the Bears one, though, but I can see why.
I do have a fourth one, but I'll let you guys.
Right. Just other games we like. First, I'll give Nick's pick. So Nick last week got burned with Cleveland. They only won by 10. They were -11, I believe. He won the Tampa game running away. They were -12. They won by like 23. Lost the Pitt game, which puts them at 3-3. Pittsburgh obviously lost to Vegas. So those are his picks this week. Will be Las Vegas. He's running with same with Tim -4.5. Miami. He's actually taking the Giants -3 over Atlanta. Eli Manning jersey retirement day. So Giants, if you're going to win one, just do it then, for God's sake. And he is also taking Pittsburgh -3 versus Cincinnati. He expects them at home to bounce back after the loss to Vegas. So we'll see how that fares out. Sir, we'll go to you.
All right, my first game. I got the Bucks -1.5 over the Rams. I know the Rams beat up on the Bears week 1, but they didn't really look that great last week against the Colts. And like you tell me, you give me Tom Brady as a under field goal favorite. It's like this game originally was the Rams were actually favored by 1, but it has since ticked up to now Tampa's favored by 1.5. So give me Tom Brady and them boys. My game 2 was I widgeted this well last week, and it served well. Sorry, old boy. Give me the Jets and Broncos under 42. Both those teams through the first 2 games have both their games have gone under. So under 42, it's a good bet. And my last one, Giant fans, sorry, boys, but how are y'all favored against anybody? Give me the Falcons +3. I know it's Eli Manning Day or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But this is the perfect spot. They're gonna come in, they're gonna see Eli, they're gonna be like, yeah, and they're gonna lay an egg. It's what they do. So sorry.
I see that happening. In a game the Giants should win, they will lose. In a game they lose, they should. That's just the Giants.
You know what I'm
yeah, they'll like beat the undefeated Chiefs this year or something. That's what the Giants do. Sir, just thoughts on your last week because you got burned on KC, New Orleans, and your big pick, the New England pick, was a solid pick over the Jets.
Yeah, the under.
Yeah, they just
hear me out.
I'm going back to that well.
When Sir went to sleep, he was covering the bet.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. I was good. I was like, yeah, we got this. And then, well, sleep mode hit, and well, good night.
All right, so last week I hit with the Green Bay -11. It was pretty tight for a while. I think if the Lions convert that fourth down, the game is a lot closer. It might even like go into overtime. One with that, I went with the Raiders getting +5.5 at Pittsburgh. Now they're 6-2 versus Steelers in 12 years, which is actually unbelievable to think about. It really is. They've had Bruce Gradkowski in some of these games versus championship Steelers team. I lost with the Cardinals, who only won by 1, so I got burned with the -4.5. My picks are never bad. The teams just don't do what they should. That's hard. So this week I'm starting, and I'm going against Sir here. I'm actually taking the Rams at home for the +1.5. I think they win this game outright, obviously. Tampa Bay has won about 9 in a row right now. Brady beat them in the Super Bowl a few years ago. I think this is McVay's chance to, like, you're at home, you got your quarterback. If you can't win here, you ain't going to win. So go make a statement right now. Go beat the Super Bowl champs. I really like the Rams in this game. I'm going to go with another home underdog, the Minnesota Vikings, +1.5 at home versus Seattle. The Vikings played really well last week in Arizona. They're 0-2 right now. You're coming home. You know how it is in the NFL. You can't go 0-3. I don't think Seattle's that good, and I actually trust Minnesota to come out and win this game. And if they cover the point and lose, good. Fuck them anyway. And I never really do this, but I am going to go with my Dallas Cowboys on a Monday night. They're a -3.5 at home versus the Eagles, who just lost Brandon Graham, who's huge on their defense right now. The Eagles didn't look too good. The Cowboys are 1-1. This is their first home game after 2 road games, and they have ahead of them a chance to take off. They could go 2-1. Then they have the Panthers at home. They have the Giants at home. They could really separate themselves. So I do like them to win 24-20. That at least covers it. So that's my picks for the week. Tim, go with maybe 1 or 2 games you like that you did not have enough confidence to choose.
I have two separate comments. So the first, the game that I like that you really need to look at, there's rumors that Big Ben is hurt, and they're still not sure if he's actually going to play. So the Cincy...
No, you're good. You're good.
All right. So the Cincy +3, I would be perfectly okay taking them getting the 3 points. And then the other big thing is Dalvin Cook is hurt for the Vikings, but they're going to keep playing him. And to your reasoning, because they need to win this game, if they don't win this game, they're, what 0-3 team comes back and makes the playoffs? Not many. So if you guys are in fantasy football still and you're still following Alexander Madison, if he's a free agent, if he's on the wire, go scoop him up right now. Don't wait until after this game where they're like, oh, Dalvin Cook pulled up lame with a hamstring injury. Mystery, I know you say Ben is playing. That's great. I'm sure he is. Big Ben with a bum shoulder. Not the first time I heard it. I don't trust it, not even for a second. Those are my 2 choices. Yeah,
I was looking at that game as well with the Bengals +3 because, as I said, I don't know. It's hard to trust them boys. It's like, sorry, I know they're your boys. I know you ride for them, but I can't trust them right now.
Right.
I was also thinking about pulling the trigger on the Niners-Packer game. Sanford, I think it's -3. I was thinking about that one because it's the home opener. And usually Sanford has some success when against Green Bay. Except for last year when they had the whole team out for COVID and they didn't move the game. But So usually Sanford has a lot of success against the Packers. So I was thinking about taking them.
So are you donning the pads this week at running back for your boys, or what's happening here?
Hey man, I might have to, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I would lay the house on the Niners this week because they're bringing back those 1994 jerseys with the black outlining where Merton Hanks did the hanky-panky.
That was my man, Merton Hanks.
So, like,
I would try to do that, and then my neck be out of commission for about a month.
Sir, if your boys win this week, can we get a hanky-panky on the show next week? The fans are here for it. They want to see it. I'll do the gritty. You could do the hanky. What's Sir gonna do? Or what's Scott gonna do?
I could do the Dion dance from what did T.O. used to do? Remember that?
Oh, that's an easy one. Easy
know,
one.
man.
We're talking about embarrassing dances.
Dion was a good end zone dance, and he won a Super Bowl with us. All right, I'm gonna get to two games that I like as well, but I'm not gonna put them in my picks. I do like Tennessee -5 at home versus the Colts. I don't know why that number is so low. It's almost, that's why it scared me, because like the Colts don't have Carson Wentz, and right, he's not playing, he's out.
Either that or he's playing with two sprained ankles.
Yeah, and the Titans just came off a huge win, and I just what 6 points, 5 points, but it scared me because it should be higher. It was one of those like something's up here. And my one that I do like, which you guys are gonna laugh at, I love the Jets in this game. I like to have a chance to win it at the end of the game. So I would take a jump over that +10. I think the Broncos are 2-0, and 3-0 is not easy to go in the NFL. They haven't played great teams. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater is that good. And all the Jets have been hearing about all week is how bad Zach Wilson was. I do think they bounce back and keep this game really fucking close. And I wouldn't be shocked if they win this game. As Nick said, if they actually win, you should just be a permanent host on the show because no one else sees that coming. I don't know. It's just sometimes you get a feeling about a game. I could be 100% wrong, but I really do like it. I will be laying money on the Jets money line on Sunday.
I don't know where you get your feelings, but there's like a cream that they make that you really need to use. I don't know,
man. I do like them. I like the Jets in this game. It is what it is. We'll find out. Hey, if it's 2020 in the fourth quarter, you'll be texting me like, holy shit, and then they'll lose like
34-20. Yeah, we know what.
No, we don't need no 34-20 because then that means my under goes to bye-bye.
Right.
Can't happen.
No, I don't know why. I just kind of like them in this game at Denver. I think it's best for them to get away from the East Coast, too. I just think it's good for them to go play on the road in a game like this. All right, I'll start with the DFS. We'll get into that. Last week, my best pick was Derrick Henry. He did have 3 touchdowns. And my flex, Gronk, had 2 touchdowns, which was pretty interesting because my regular tight end sucked a dick. And then I was horrible with the Arizona defense, so I blame them. All right, I'll start off with the quarterback. I'll go with Kirk Cousins versus Seattle defense just for a mere 6,300. I don't think that's that bad. Kirk Cousins can put up numbers. I'm going to go with Austin Eckler because you saw what happened to the run defense of the Chiefs last week. And 7,200, I'll go with him as my number 1 running back. I'll go with Myles Gaskin for 5,400 with the Dolphins. Only because I have him in fantasy and he hasn't even come close to sniffing the end zone. I feel like he's due for a couple touchdowns as a starting running back, and he's cheap. I'll match Kirk Cousins with Adam Thielen for 6,700, try to get the double points. I'll get Calvin Ridley for 7,000 versus that what was supposed to be great Giant defense. I don't know what's going on with them. And I'm going to add Julio Jones as a wide receiver, mainly because he's done absolutely nothing. And sooner or later, he's got to do something. He's got to have a touchdown catch or some shit. Flex, I'll go with Corey Davis for the Jets. I feel like he's had a couple good weeks. Week 1, he scored 2 touchdowns. Plus, he's $5,000, pretty cheap. New England, Hunter Henry, tight end, 3,700. And I will go with that vaunted Jets defense for 2,200 because I really like them this week. So we'll go with you.
What's up?
Yeah, we'll go with you.
All right. Yeah, so last week I went heavy on the Dallas Charger game. Kind of blew up in my face a little bit, but it's all right. Like, of course, when Dallas scores, they run the football instead of throwing it, but whatever. But I did get the Eckler because I said he didn't get targeted in week 1. He got his normal workload of targets in week 2, so I got that one right. But it's on to a new week, so at quarterback, I got at 5,200 the newest quarterback of the Chicago Bears, Mr. Justin Fields. 5,200 for a starting quarterback? and who's gonna he's gonna run the football, so you're gonna get those rushing yard points plus passing. Hopefully, he throws a couple touchdowns to Allen Robinson, who I also have at 6,200. Hopefully we'll see what happens because I believe Mooney's questionable, so it's going to be a lot of Allen Robinson this week. To go with Robinson, I went Marvin Jones at 4,900. He's been averaging 10 targets the last 2 games, and they're gonna have to score to keep up with Arizona, who's been putting up just numbers. I also want a part of the Arizona offense, so I went Rondell Moore at 500 or 5K. He's been making plays every week. Every time I look up at the screen, he's running for a long reception or putting a long touchdown up. So give me Rondell Moore at 5K. At running back, I went Nick Chubb at 7,600. It's like you mentioned it. No Jarvis Landry, no Beckham's, or who knows what Beckham's going to do. So they're going to have to run the football So I see a lot of Nick Chubb at 7,600. My second running back, I went Tyshawn Williams at 5,800. Said Lamar might be a little banged up. I heard he got a little bruised from doing a flip in the end zone. So silly, but hopefully no flips. Just hand the ball to Mr. Williams at 5,800. At tight end, normally I don't like paying up for tight ends, but you know what? I'll take the second best tight end at 8,200 since the best one's now on the slate. Travis Kelce, 8,200. He's been putting up 20 DK points every week, so why not? At flex, I went Mark Andrews at 5K. Because when Lamar throws it, he's been throwing to Hollywood and Mr. Andrews. So let me get some of that. And at defense, you know what my cheap defense is. 2,100, the Cincinnati Bengals. Against Big Ben, I'm saying, Steelers haven't looked that great. So give me the Bengals at 2,100.
All right. I love how, I went with the Jets thinking they were the cheapest defense, and the Bengals actually were.
Gotcha.
Tim?
All right, first off, let's give a shout out to our week 2 winner, other Tim Petrowski. He took down the our $1 donkey dollar DK. What the fuck did happen?
You're good, man. Keep going.
No, it just keeps popping up saying the internet's bad, so I don't know if that's on your end or not. So either way, shout out to OT. He took it down, won his $10.80. Shout out to Mr. E again for setting that all up. If anyone's interested in not getting the invite for it, just shoot me a message because it's pretty entertaining every week. It's pretty close up there at the top. But let's start it off. Quarterback, I got Justin Herbert, 6,500 versus KC. KC's pass defense is absolute garbage. The fact that the game could be a shootout, even more of a reason to have a part of it. I paired him with Mr. Keenan Allen at 6,600. Running backs, I went on the cheaper side. I went James White, 4,900 against New Orleans. Damian Harris is banged up. They're not sure if he's playing yet. If he's not playing, James White for that cheap is going to be a great option. And then I went with Mike Davis, 5,100 against the Giants. Giants are 30th against the run in the NFL. And Atlanta needs to do something different because relying on just Matt Ryan chucking the ball hasn't gotten them anywhere in 2 games. So I'll take Mike Davis. Then I'm going to go with possibly the hottest receiver on the planet, Tyler Lockett, 7,400 against Minnesota. There's nothing more to say. I'm riding the hot hand. And wide receiver relying on 3. Give me Jamar Chase, 5,400 against Pittsburgh. Higgins is out potentially, or if he is playing, he's not 100% healthy. Those looks got to go somewhere, and he's played pretty well for having those I can't see the ball issues in the preseason. Tight end, Scott, I stole some of your thunder from last week. Give me Gronk. I mean, if they're just going to keep targeting him in the red zone and throwing touchdown passes, I'll take it until it dries up. And in flex, 6,500, the running back for the New York Football Giants, Saquon Barkley, 10 days to rest. If it's not this week, it ain't going to be any week. This is the healthiest he'll be all season, so I'm taking him. And defense, me and Sir, we clicked last week with the Jets. We're clicking this week with the Bengals. 2,100 against Pitt. You said it. Big Ben, question mark. I'll take my chances.
All right. That's
I like that. I like that Saquon pick actually because I think this is a week that he actually has a coming out party because they've been easing him in the first 2 weeks. So I think this is. I mean, if you don't do it this week, then you got to look at him. You got to look at him a little bit differently. But So I was actually going to squeeze him in and like mess around with the other pieces, but I like that pick. Actually, good pick.
All right, so before we get to our final segment, which it will be like what we're looking forward to for week 3, let's do our Thursday night prop bets. Now, this is more for the Twitch audience, but it'll still be posted. A couple I have right now. I like Joey Sly. He's a plus 100 for an over 5.5 points. I mean, you're telling me that the Panthers aren't going to kick 1 field goal and 3 touchdowns? You're telling me they're not going to score 24 points? So to me, that's an easy, even money bet, no brainer. I also like two TDs. Christian McCaffrey is a plus 225, which to me is like a little high because, I mean, I think he'll score 1 rushing, 1 receiving maybe. So those would be my prop bets. I usually always go at plus money because I feel like I feel like I lose every other time. So that's me, sir.
All right, so you mentioned Christian McCaffrey. I like there's a lot of CMC bets I like in this one. So my first one is over 54.5 receiving yards. Week 1 he had 65, and week 2 he had 89 receiving yards. So they do a little dump offs, and he just does his thing. Second one, over 17.5 longest reception for McCaffrey. In week 1 he had a 32-yard catch, and week 2 he had a 22-yarder. So that bet has been profitable. And my last one was over 19.5 rushing attempts for, again, Mr. Chris McCaffrey. He's had 24 in week 1, 21 in week 2. They get him involved from the ground, the pass. You're going to see a lot of CMC tonight. So bet all those props.
Every one of them, which means there's a lot of good props for CMC, which means Darnold will throw 500 yards.
And none of them McCaffrey.
They know what they're doing. Tim?
I can see it happening, man. I can see it happening. To be honest, I put a same game 6-teamer in. I moved the lines around because I wasn't as confident in some of CMC's receiving totals. I just don't know why. I expect them to get ahead early, and if he's not touching it early, I don't know if he's going to get the touches late. So I have Carolina leading minus a half in the first half. I have Carolina money line for the game. I got CMC anytime touchdown. I've got Sam Darnold to throw 1 touchdown pass, and then I've got over in rushing yards for CMC and over in receiving, but I dialed the receiving back to 34.5. So still,
don't be scared of that receiving total, old boy. Don't be scared of it.
I just expect them just to run the ball all over them and not need to throw it out of backfield. I don't know.
Nobody's propping any Texans players tonight.
It's hard.
Which means they'll somehow win 13-10. Your football is so unpredictable. This kid will come out and score his first drive of the game, and everyone will be pumped up. Then they'll lose 41-7 probably. All right, so Nick didn't send a DFS. He's probably sick and lying in bed right now. But all right, let's get to the final segment. What game intrigues us most week 3? I'll start. I really like the one I'm looking forward to is Tampa and LA. It reminds me of 2008. When the Jets got Brett Favre and he went into New England on a Thursday night and beat them. It really was like the Jets have their QB. This is who's dethroning the New England Patriots. Go win this fucking game. I think this is Stafford's moment. Like this, if he loses this game, I think Rams fans look at like, all right, well, what's the difference between him and Goff type thing? Like if you're Matt Stafford, you want to prove why they traded you here. Go beat the Super Bowl champs at home. Go to 3-0 and really establish yourself as a class of the NFC. So that's the one game I'm really looking forward to most, sir.
I agree with you on that pick. The Rams, Bucks. You know what I'm saying? It's Brady. It's like Stafford. They say, oh, they're going to be the class of the NFC, but Tom Brady's still chilling in the NFC.
Right,
last time I checked. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Another game. I'm also at the Sunday night game. My boys against Green Bay, the home opener. Like Green Bay laid an egg in week 1 and then gave Detroit the business. Granted, yes, they are the Lions. So, but then Stafford, like Niners, they're 2-0, but last week they didn't look that the hottest. So it should be interesting to see what that how that game goes. So those are the 2 games I'm looking forward to.
Right. And in the playoffs, you could argue that Rodgers' statement in 2005 has not really come to fruition, that they'd regret it more because it seems like whether it's Kaepernick or a couple of years ago, he has not fared well versus them in big games.
Nah, absolutely not. Kaepernick used to give them the business.
Dude, my dad's a Packer fan, and it's just like he always says that he's like Kaepernick was average against everyone else, but when it was the Packers, he just went.
I know the
off.
one game he ran for 180 yards, and then the next game I think he threw for like 400. So
in the playoff game, he went into Lambeau in the snow and beat him. Like he murdered the Packers.
Even last year, or not last year,
400 total yards.
When they faced them, Mostert just had just absolutely destroyed them boys. So
I agree.
We'll see what happens.
Tim, aside from your huge Jet Bronco game, what game are you looking for?
I was gonna say that was wild. Like, I couldn't believe you guys didn't bring that up. It's so wild. Let me just give a quick shout out to the guys on Twitch. Apparently, we had some little technical issue where it fucking shut down the stream early. So hopefully, okay, they're saying it's back now. But whatever. Thank you guys for sticking around and hanging out. But we'll run the wheel after we shut down shop here. So I'll make sure to contact whoever did win. And there'll be some video evidence of it. But I love the Green Bay Niners game. I mean, that is a game that's very, very, good to be a fun one way or the other. That's about it. I mean, Eagles Cowboys are going to be fun. The big rivalry games. That's all you look forward to during football season.
Right. So if you had to pick, Tim, because I won't give it to Sir because he's biased. Who do you think comes out winning that game?
Which with the Niners?
The Niner game, yeah.
I literally almost took the Niners as one of my picks, but I couldn't. I thought Sir definitely was going to, so I didn't want to steal his thunder.
Fair enough. All right, then we'll sign off. That's it for week 3 with a fun fact. Longest touchdown run in Super Bowl history was Willie Parker's, 75 yards, I think. I don't know. I just know.
I think 79.
79. I just know it's him. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, it is Fast Willie. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, it was versus the Seahawks, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. Signing off. Thanks. I don't know if I'll be back next week.
See you next week, old boy.
Yeah, but I'll see you guys.
It'll say Scott, new host, across your shirt.